Welcome. I'm Julia Smilovska.
And I'm Stan Fedorenko.
In this video, we are going to discuss a very interesting topic concerning about the client escalations, meaning that client is dissatisfied with your product or services in IT industry, and you are as a manager responsible for solving this escalation. So what we are going to talk we would like to cover the concept of escalation and discuss a little bit what it is about. We would like to talk about the other side of the escalation, meaning that it's not only negative, but what is more important, that this is an opportunity to explore some opportunities within your relationship with the client. And also, we are going to give you a step-by-step guide how to turn actually your escalations, your negative situations with the client into the positive ones and to get some opportunities out of that.
So, what is escalation? Actually, there are a lot of definitions of escalation. This is the situation or conflict or problem that is growing and need involvement of other people, upper management, whatever. In IT context and the context of our topic, this is a client or stakeholders concerns that need involvement of upper management.
We can say simply that escalations can be of two types. That's objective escalation and subjective escalation. So what is objective escalation? It's when you have the real underlying problem or issue and client wants it to be solved and you understand what should be solved. Maybe you don't have opportunities to do that. Maybe that's the feature out of the scope, but there is a clear issue. And usually solving this issue will solve the escalation and client will be happy again, right? So we are showing an example when the client says that the system is not corresponding to the description that he was giving during the pre-sales process, meaning that if you solve this issue, if you provide the client the features you promised, so the escalation is solved. On the other hand, we have subjective escalation. So what it is about? It's more about perceptions of the client. It's about missing expectations. It's about emotions. So in the example here, the client is stating that the team doesn't feel the sense of urgency of his task. So that might be real, but might be not. It's just a perception of the client. Resolving such subjective escalations might be more difficult than just removing the irritant because in this case you need to work with emotions and you need to work on emotional level because solving the issue, if it's not existing, might not be possible. So if we have two types of escalations, right? So we considered more or less like what they can be. We want to show you right now how escalations that both subjectives or objective feel negative at the beginning, how they can be turned into opportunities. And let's start from thinking about ourselves. So what do we feel when we are facing escalation? Let's take an example. The client is calling us and he is angry and he said that our software is not working or there are a lot of issues or something else, right? So our first reaction most probably will be very defensive. We might be irritated. We might feel frustration. We may be also angry. So this is like a collision of two persons with negative reactions that may cause the conflict, right? And this situation won't be solved positively. Why it actually happens? There is one of the major theories about team formation, and it says that the team is formed under the pressure of external factors. If you're a manager or a team member facing escalation, you treat the client escalation as a threat to the team, and you'll become more united with the team and you become more defensive. Here's where these negative emotions are coming from. However, on the other hand, what we want to talk today about is that Escalation is not a threat, it's a feedback. And it's very valuable feedback from the stakeholder who is the most important for you and for your business. It's your client. And you can take this feedback as an opportunity for professional, personal, or corporate development.
So, again, one of the main messages that we are trying to deliver: do not consider escalation as something only negative. There are opportunities, there are positive sides. And let's consider three levels of escalation resolutions. On the first level, we should remove irritants. So prevent reoccurrence, fix the problem, make analysis, and implement some correction. The second level is work improvements. It could be process optimization, learning and development, and a lot of other stuff. And the third one is strategic one. Take a look at the opportunities. You can improve service, product, process. You can build new business relationship. You can grow the relationship with the client and actually implement some strategic long-term decisions and solutions.
So let's consider some of the examples, right? Let's say you have escalation about the number of bugs in your system, and you identify the major cause of this is that the monolithic architecture requires a lot of regression testing that might not usually be even possible because it requires huge manual QA effort. So what can you do? You can add capacity of your QAs, or you can explore opportunities and to write new systems on the microservices. The other example is for, let's say, the support takes a long time to respond to the client requests. And the reason of that is insufficient staffing during peak hours. So, again, you can, for example, add more capacity of your support team. But the opportunity here might be to implement AI to reduce the workloads. And there are many other examples where you can think out of the box and consider what else you can propose to your client. So not only solving directly the issue that occurred, but more brainstorming, going out of the box, and thinking creatively what might be the next step uh, developing this problem. So when you are facing escalation, we are talking that you can consider that as a feedback and explore some opportunities and even sell some new services. But definitely it doesn't happen when the client is calling you and he is angry and he demands you to do something immediately. You cannot say that let's write a new system on microservices, right? But how to organize your work, how to organize yourself at this situation properly, that actually you can come to the point when you can do that.
And we will use some example in order to go step by step. So let's imagine some common for IT outsourcing world situation. The IT vendor or IT outsourcing company and the team of around 20 developers is implementing jointly with the client B2B system. So on the vendor side, it is a team of developers that is working on development, and on the client side, testing is being performed. Also, client has technical expert, and client side know business processes very well. The escalation, the situation is that on the final stage of testing the product, the more than 100 tasks that have been developed during the last half of year have been returned to the redevelopment because of different interpretation of acceptance criteria. And we are in the situation when the release, production release, is under risk. However, we still have the time to fix the problem. Let's take a look step by step how. Let's take a look at our three levels of escalation. What can be done in this situation? At the first level, reaction, creation a plan and communication, clear communication with the client, testing, redevelopment if necessary, release on time. This is our target. The second level, work improvements, building clear RACI metrics, show and present clear responsibilities, establish governance model, methods and control and reporting, and on the third strategical level, what we can do, good relationship with the client. This is our target to achieve. We can sell new projects through the recommendations if we have this great established relationship. We can propose team growth, team expansion, propose additional services for our clients, and grow our business.
What we are starting from. The first step is to respond to the client when he is escalating immediately. So if you're getting the phone call, you should actively listen, show your care, show that you understand the sense of urgency. If you're getting an email, you should respond as fast as you can. However, at this point, it's very important to refrain from any immediate conclusions or promises to the client because you are limited in the information. You have only his point of view. What you can do is collect as much information as possible about the situation, about the perception the client has, to later work on that. You should accept the responsibility for the process of handling escalation, meaning that you clearly tell client that he is calling to the right person and that you will work from this point with him on the escalation. And also you need to determine the next steps. So what you are going to do next. So you say that I'm going to talk with the team, that I will respond to you in 1 hour, in 3 hours with the clear next steps.
So, client is angry, and of course, this is the risk for him or her. And client demands clear plan. So, we are not waiting. We do not promise. However, as the managers, we should show our care and coach the emotion. So I understand your concern, my dear client. I want to assure you that it's important for me. Yes. If even as a manager, I do not have information enough to respond, I will tell that I will return to you in, for example, 3 hours, and this is my plan. I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In our example, for example, to get the full picture, we will consult with some additional stakeholder. We will review specific examples and return back in 3 hours.
The next step, you are starting your root cause analysis. So what really happened? You need to understand the real situation, not only the client view. But for that, you usually need to involve other people, meaning your team or the people who, let's say, caused the issue or bug, or the people who can make this analysis. What is important for the person who was communicating with the client is to set the tone of conversation in front of the team. So why it's important? Because the team may feel that the issue is not important, so that it's some minor thing, minor fix, or minor problem, right? But you need to show that for the client it's important. So we should take it seriously, and the team should take it seriously, and your attitude will be transferred to the team. The second, what the manager should do or the leader of the team should do is to avoid blaming the team. So this is very stressful situation for the team as well, and we need to avoid that this reaction fight, flight, or freeze from our team, because we need some actions, and usually we need urgent actions. So we need to show that we are not blaming specific people. If there is a problem, we will improve processes. And as a manager, you need to support your team emotionally as well. For the root cause analysis itself, there might be a lot of different methods to be used, how you dig dive into the real problems, into the real causes of the incidents. So the most oftenly used are five whys or fishbone diagram.
And based on our example, five wives approach just clearly show us that there is a problem in the process of acceptance criteria creation, reviewing, acceptance criteria, yes, and there were no properly assigned people to do that, and the responsibility were lost.
When we know what caused the issue, we need to go to creation of a clear action plan. Uh, so any action plan consists of tasks, responsible people, priorities of the works, and clear deadlines. What is important for the process of escalation is that you add specific control points and measures of controls for this issue while it's being solved. So it's not sufficient to use your usual control processes because this situation has more urgency and more priority in front of the client. So you need to control it more precisely. And also you need to establish specific communication approach because most probably you would need to communicate more often with the client, maybe use some other formats. Also, you may need to communicate with your manager sharing the information. So you need to create this communication approach as well, not to bother your team each hour asking the status of the issue. And at this moment, you already can start analyzing what opportunities might be created. Uh, think about like some next steps and start thinking about the assumptions, what you can propose to your client.
So, clear plan with tasks, description of the tasks, due date, responsible people, other support if required should be presented, should be created. And actually, we should understand that this plan must allow clear control of each task progress. So, this is an example in our situation.
The next step. So you created a plan, you have a vision how to solve the problem. There might be multiple options how to solve this problem. So you pick one and you think that is gonna work. But what is important, you need to approve that with the client. So the client, he has also his own perceptions and feelings, and he need to agree that the approach that you picked is actually working for him as well. So you need to clearly set up some discussion, present your root cause analysis, present your plan, and discuss why you think it's going to solve the problem and agree on these steps and what is important about the dates. Because usually, when you have some escalation, so that may influence the project plan, you may shift the deadline. So you need a clear approval and you need to agree what would be the success checkpoint. So how you would consider that the situation is successfully solved. What your goal here is to move away from this emotional rush to the normal way of working according to the plan. Here on this step, it's also important to emphasize the team efforts. So you're working as a team. Each team member is making their contributions. So you show that it's not only you, the only person who is making that, but it's a team effort and everyone uh, also care about the client. And also here you can slightly start talking about some opportunities and future possibilities that can change overall this situation.
First of all, in my picture of the world, in such situation, as a manager, you should build as much as close cooperation and relationship. So do not keep your plan without sharing with the client. So share by email. Ask about vision of the plan. If it's okay, probably there is another view on this plan, and that's very important for client. Emphasize that you are ready to discuss not only in mail threads. I would suggest to set up a call to go through the plan together, to discuss points, to discuss action items. And actually, what already Yulia told, we focus on resolving the problem. We not blaming the people. Show clearly that we are not going to play in the football at this stage, not going to blame our clients, our customers, or other stakeholders. And yes, it makes sense to emphasize that, for example, situation, it could be opportunity to enhance the processes. And let's take a look together how we can jointly do that.
The major step probably is to resolve the issue. So you created a plan, you approved it with the client, you have to do that. And this plan that you did, it should be reasonable, that you can actually execute it. Because here is the most important step. If you're not able to resolve the issue as you promised, all other efforts will be useless. So you need to do what you promise. So you implement the solution, you implement monitoring and control, you communicate regularly. And for the manager, it's also important to support the team through the whole process of this conflict resolution, of the escalation resolution, because this is a stressful situation and that might cause conflicts within your team that won't be helpful at all for resolving the escalation. So the next step, communication and transparency. We were talking about this already, but to strengthen it even more, what is going on with resolving the escalation should be transparent for all the parties involved. That means for your team, for your client, and for your manager. You shouldn't be like a black box that is doing something nobody knows what. So you need to openly communicate what is going on, what is the status, and how efficient is the process of resolving the issue.
Keep still stakeholders engaged. Keep them informed proactively. Do not wait for the meetings. Report clearly the progress. Highlight clearly alerts, risks, and plans what we are going to do next. In this example, we are reporting of the results, what we already did. For example, define the process, we prioritize the task, and actually add some numbers. For example, we already implemented or tested five planned tasks. We have the issue of redevelopment of one task and report when that will be implemented. So as much as possible, proactive clarity and keeping the stakeholders and the client informed about the progress.
The last step, after you actually resolved the issue, you should set some retrospective meeting with the client, and in already calm situation when there is already no rush or no negative emotions, discuss what actually happened, what were the real causes of this problem, ask for the feedback uh, regarding the issue itself and also about the process of resolution. So, how you went through this escalation. You can also give your feedback to the client. So, in very polite way, avoiding any accusations, but discuss how you felt about the process of escalating. And you need to discuss at this point first the plan how to prevent such situation from happening again, and also present your ideas, meaning your opportunities, those things that you already have in mind that can change situation for better.
So in our case, Reason for the problem, it's misinterpretation, misunderstanding of acceptance criteria, and lack of clear zones of responsibility. We can propose joint workshops, for example, as an improvement. Resolution of the processes. We assign responsible people for acceptance, for creating acceptance criteria. We prioritize, we refine the task, we did daily reporting by managers. What we are doing, we emphasizing the professionalism of our team and showing our engagement. Then we need to value client feedback and ask, what is your feedback? Are you satisfied with our actions? What can we improve? And propose some things for the future. For example, workshop and consulting. We can even propose some additional project managers involved to build PMO office, whatever. Propose team building activities to improve communication, collaboration, and present that we very professional in HR practices. We also, for example, could propose some additional uh, improvements of business analysis processes and involve additional business analysts into our team.
And the last step, that's something that happens already out of your discussion with the client. It's your professional development and development of your team. So escalation, as we started our discussion from, it's a feedback. You got some feedback. So that's a point in time when you use it as a learning moment. So think about yourself, why you didn't know that it's happening, that it's coming. Analyze from your perspective how the process went, how you worked with the team. Make this self-reflection. And also, what is important is to document this situation, document the escalation, document all the findings through the process, and make the knowledge sharing with your team to avoid really such situation in the future.
What we can get as a team, as a manager on the ground from this situation? For example, change the approach to governance, reporting format. We can reconfigure our Jira boards in order to keep as much as possible clear the progress and keep with the visibility, and actually simplify communication. We can get additional trainings on communication and working in international team, considering some cultural difference, because mainly if we are talking about IT outsourcing industry, we are working in international teams. Actually, what can be done here, for example, visits by clients representative to the team in joint work in the same office, which increases the level of trust. That's positive moments that team can get from this situation. And one more time, in our case, what was done? On the first level, the plan was created, communication was improved, daily-based clear communication. It was tested and redeveloped, if necessary, some task, and release targeting to have release on time. On the level of work improvements, building clear zone of responsibilities, establishing a clear governance model, and control reporting is improved as well. And on the high level, on the opportunities level, the good and trustful relationship with the clients that lead to new opportunities, new recommendation, considering the team and manager as people with high professionalism.
So during this seventh step, we have guided you how to handle the client escalation and moreover, how to turn it into opportunities. So let's summarize. The properly handled escalation improve clients' relationships and increase trust. And that's a real case because we are building bonds with our client and he knows that even in hard situations, he can rely on us. Resolving escalation strengthens the team as well because you, the same as with the client, you are passing through some hard times with your team, and it also creates more strength bonds within the team. Escalation reveals critical issues. So you may not see some issues before, but the escalation comes and you understand that there are real problems and you solve them and you become better. And also you can see some next opportunities. Escalations stimulate the team to innovate and improve the process. So you might be operating on the day-to-day basis, and that's routine, and you are not thinking about some improvements. But this is like a stress that also brings some positive energy to the team, and you can facilitate with this escalation how to innovate or improve something internally. Difficult situations highlight importance of open and clear communication. So usually, like a lot of escalations, they are coming from some problems in communication, and you can improve here as well. And each escalation is an opportunity to learn and enhance your skills in some way. We hope this video was useful for you. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you very much for your time. See you in the next videos.